One, two, 1, 2. It's your girl Regine. What it do? What it do? You are now listening to The Bold, The Brown, and the Opinionated Podcast. What's up, y'all? What we talking about today? Let's get into it. What's up, my BBO gang? Y'all, welcome back to the Bold, Brown, and Opinionated Podcast. And as you know, we are well into our storytelling series that kicked off back in September. Thank you once again to everyone who sends stories, and I appreciate you. But this next story is here to teach you a lesson, y'all. First year out, story told by Teddy. Let's get right into it, y'all.
Well, this is a story about fresh out of high school, just graduated. My first year, a lot of people don't realize the first year out of high school is crucial. So, this is a story about my first year out of high school, and I actually was shot. So, my friend calls me up one day. He's like, "Hey, Ted, my friend, he needs help moving. We're going to go help him move. He'll give us $100 a piece." I'm like, "Cool." So we go help him move, and we're in the East Hills area, and we're in those apartments, and we're carrying stuff down to the truck, and we make about 3-4 trips. And then we're up in the apartment, and the guy's like, "Hey, won't you go down there in the stairwell or go out there with the truck and make sure nobody takes nothing out the truck?" I'm like, there's too many people outside. I don't know nobody around here, and there's a lot of shooting that goes on around here. So I'm standing in the stairwell looking out the window. Standing in the stairwell looking out the window, like, oh, everything's fine. They're carrying a bed. They're carrying the bed down the steps, and I turn around, and next thing you know, I see somebody on the steps below me with a gun pointing at me. And he just says, "Hey, what's up, blood?" And he starts shooting. One hits me in my chest. Felt like a real hard punch, and it just got real hot. And then I felt one graze my side. So I'm like, "Oh my God!" I dropped what I was carrying to the truck, dropped it, ran behind the couch that they were carrying because they heard it and started running too. And I'm hearing the bullets going to the couch, and just all through my mind through this point in time, my adrenaline was pumping. But I'm like, I am going to die. So we run up, we go into the apartment, and my boy's like, "Man, we are going to have to jump out a window or something," because we were on the second floor. He's like, "We're going to have to jump out the window. They're probably going to bust in here." So we're preparing. We open the window. We're about to jump. Next thing you know, we hear the knock on the door. Thank God it was the police. So the police come, and the ambulance come. They check me out in the apartment, and they load me up in the ambulance. So the ambulance, we're going to the nearest hospital, and the driver's just like, "Hey, I think somebody's chasing us. I can't shake this guy." And then the guy taps me. He goes, "Hey, do you know anybody in the black car? He's just following us. He's right behind us." He was like, I was like, "Yeah, that's my boy. That's my buddy." They're like, "Oh, okay." Because we thought they were trying to come and still finish the job and kill you, So, we got to the hospital, and it's kind of funny because, that thing about, wearing a pair of clean drawers, that's all that went through my head when I was in the hospital. But, I'm like, please let me have on a pair of clean drawers, right? So, we went to the hospital. They checked me out. I was fine. One of the bad things, and my mother talks about it to this day, is that my boy's sister called my parents. She was the one who called them and told them, like, Teddy's been shot, But she didn't say, "Hey, Teddy's been shot. He's okay." She was like, "Teddy was shot. He's at so-and-so hospital," and that was it, So at that time, my mother was frantic. She was like, "I thought you were gone. I thought you were gone, but by the grace of God, you're here." But that goes to show in your first year out of school is crucial. Even though it wasn't no mess I was in, no type of illegal activity. That when we got to the hospital, it's lodged in my armpit, and they said it was too much trouble to go in and pull it out because it actually went right between my heart and my lung and lodged in my armpit. And they were like, it's too much to pull it out, so just like, we'll leave it in there. Just once a year, I just gotta go check, make sure. You can feel it. Like digging my armpit, you can feel it. But yeah, when they went there, they didn't pull it out or nothing. They gave me some antibiotics to put on it because it went through my jacket and clothes and everything, and that could cause an infection. But yeah, definitely an experience.
What did that teach you?
Well, be aware of your surroundings. And it's funny because I say it to Teddy all the time. Be aware of your surroundings because, now that I think back on it, like after it happened, I would think back on it like, how didn't I see that coming? But I actually did. I've seen the guys, we pull up and we load a couple things. Nobody's outside. The last trip, there's like a good 7 people outside, and it's like, hold on, all these people just didn't come outside. They knew something was going to happen, so they were out there to see. But yeah, that's one thing I could say. Be aware of your surroundings, and you just gotta watch the people you're around, because even though I didn't know this guy, he was a Muslim, and he from what I've known, he wasn't into anything. Doesn't mean he wasn't into something. He could have thought I was somebody else and course this whole plot scheme to get me there to where, because I was by myself, they were up out of the way, so it could have been something. You just gotta be aware of the people that are around you. First year out of high school, thank God for every day, because the next day is not promised.
And just like that, y'all, tomorrow is never promised. Never promised. So live in the moment, live for today, but be safe and be aware of your surroundings. And that's about it for this story, y'all. That was enough. That was enough right there. Glad to see you here and living another day. But I want to remind y'all, please make sure you're following us on Instagram, Bold, Brown, and Opinionated. 2021, y'all, I'm coming with the content. I know I did my little theme and stuff in 2020, but I'm going to be more consistent, and I'm coming with the content. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, subscribing to our YouTube, our SoundCloud. I'm trying to get my Spotify ratings up too, y'all. Follow me on Spotify and leave a review too. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you know where to find us. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're sharing this episode with your friends. And until next time, y'all, deuces.